Hello, this is Jason Bailey, and today I have Richard Wolfe of Wolfe, The Wolfe Speaks. Richard, would you tell us a little bit about what you do and The Wolfe Speaks?
Yeah, I'm a performance coach. I really kind of help folks focus on the areas of mindset, money, and marriage. I've found that those three areas in my life have been really crucial in helping me become the man I am today. And I think that in my opinion, if we learned that like in our early 20s, we could probably change the world, right?
Absolutely, that would be a great thing. So, how did you get started on this journey into speaking and coaching?
Well, Toastmasters will probably be my biggest influence to really get honed in and start moving down that path. But I'll bring it all the way back to my restaurant days. My first job was in the restaurant business. Worked in as a cook, worked myself up in the restaurants and pizza, fast food, and in full service. And the one thing I come back to, Jason, is the fact that when I was most fulfilled was when I had people in the restaurant, maybe employees or been there for a few years, and they say, "Rich, I'd like to learn some more, man. I really wouldn't mind moving up to management and doing some of that responsibility stuff." I'm like, "Okay, sure." And as I began to train them, they moved up, they excelled, and it became very fulfilling. Many of them went on to run their own restaurants, moved into management roles, and were very successful. And again, as we know, not all of them make it, but it was good to see people that had some drive, a little bit of initiative. We'll teach them the skills, and they begin to learn and move and progress, and it was just very fulfilling. And that's where I think it started. So then as I got older and figured my stuff out, as I look back, I'm like, these three areas really would be key for folks. And over time, I've kind of helped a few of my friends, just kind of, informally. And I can look back the past 3 to 5 years and see where they've really taken off, income-wise, relationship-wise, those kind of things. So it's just become more of a passion for me. And now that I'm kind of transitioning out of the insurance business, I think that's really where I'm going to be the perfect fit to help folks kind of move to the next level.
Well, and tell me those three areas again: money,
mindset, money, and marriage.
Okay.
Those are my big three.
The three M's.
Yes, it is.
What's one thing that you would have wished you would have known before starting this career?
The biggest piece would probably be more about human psychology. Because the more I learn about this and the more I dig into the kind of performance coaching and helping folks make changes in their lives, it really kind of comes down to psychology. How do we think? Sure. Talk about mindset, it's that 4 to 6 inches between your ears, right? And if we can really help mold that and help control it a little bit more, we can't control the events that come at us, can we, Jason?
No.
But we can sure control our reaction, right?
Absolutely.
I have that power. Sure, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, or maybe someone's coming at my family. I can be mad, but I can still say, take a breath, a pause, and then I can react. Still might be not the right way, but we do have that control to make that choice. Okay, I can calm down and not react negatively. I can do it in a positive way.
What is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure, but it's also my biggest success, Jace.
Okay.
And that's my marriage.
Okay.
Me and my wife Julie separated for a full year. That's probably we've been married 29 years. I wasn't the husband I should have been. And I talk about marriage. And just that, we don't get taught in school or even out of school how to be a good husband or father, those kind of things. You figure it out on your own, right? Unless you've got a good role model. And unfortunately, Mom and Dad split up when I was 6 months old, so I didn't really have a role model around. A couple of stepdads, but none of any degree to help with anything. So I wish I would have known more about that then to be the better husband, so maybe that wouldn't have happened. However, on the backside of it now, because of the work we did and the counseling we got and the fact that we weren't ready to throw in the towel. She was frustrated, I was frustrated, and as we stopped to kind of step back, looked at everything and got some professional help from outside sources, it was the fact is, we can work on this. We can communicate better, we can fight better, right? And then we can kind of begin to work on our own issues and bring those to the relationship to help each other out. And it made it a lot better. So like I said, it was probably my biggest failure, but I really do say it's my biggest success because I was determined this is not going to be the end of this relationship, for me, for her, and for my children.
What are the best resources that have helped you along the way?
Wow. I almost have a two-part answer for that, Jason.
Okay.
If I had the best resources, my answer would be mentors. And I'm going to be honest that throughout my life, I don't know that I recognize these people as mentors at the time. But now as I look back, I can see, you know what, I learned a lot from that person. I think about Uncle Bill. And when I was growing up, right, I guess middle school, I stayed with them for about a year, him and my Aunt Joyce. And the one thing I learned there was just a work ethic. I mean, this cat has mowing grass and raking leaves and shoveling snow. And I mean, this was in North Carolina, so yeah, it doesn't snow in Louisiana. But he worked us. You know, we were working on cars, changing starters, switching transmissions, changing leaf springs. I mean, it was crazy the stuff he did. He was a mechanic by trade. So he made us his mechanics.
Yeah,
so
you became mechanics as well.
Exactly. So, and it was fun. I learned a lot of skills. But again, I didn't really recognize it at the time. You know, later on, the other one that jumps out to me is a good friend now, Fred Mare. He helped me get into the sales career. And he had me dive into books. That would be my second one, is reading books, using those skills and learning things, not just as a read and put it on the shelf, but read it and use it. Learn it and apply it into your life.
Sure.
And he helped me use that in the sales field, and then I kind of transferred that into personal development and just began to learn over and over and over. So yeah, that would be it. Books and mentors would be my top two there.
Very good. What have you read or listened to lately that has inspired you? Speaking of books.
That's so challenging because I listen and read so much, man. It's really crazy. I will say this though. Most recent book would be, I think it's Divine Directions is the name. Craig Rochelle wrote it. He's a pastor out in, I think, California, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm about halfway through it right now, but it's really having an impact early on because in these first 3 points that he makes is, do you stay in what you're doing? Do you stop what you're doing? Or do you start what you should be doing? Was the first 3 in that book, and I've still got the rest to finish. But those 3 really kind of give me pause. You know, some of the things I've done recently, the man camp we both attended, just a lot of perspective, you know, a lot of really introspection to look at myself and really question, what am I doing? How am I doing it? How am I thinking about things? And with those 3 kind of came behind that event, I'm like, that's interesting. What do I need to really kind of start to refocus on, right? Start, stop, and stay. So I think that's, like I said, start, stop, and stay. And I think that's going to really impact me going forward, just you know, some resolutions on which direction to go and what things to focus on, correct?
Awesome. You heard it here. The Wolfe Speaks. Richard Wolfe. I'm Jason Bailey, signing off. Have a great day.